labor and FOH. At other side, we write transferred out and WIP ending, that is still in process. Now, what do you think? The units which have been transferred out, they should contain, these 15,000 units should contain 100% material, 100% labor, and 100% FOH, isn't it? That's why they have been transferred out. Otherwise, they wouldn't be transferred out unless and until 100% work would have been done. So, if I say that in transfer out, 100% material is done means 15,000 will be accounted for materials perspective, 15,000 will be accounted for labor perspective, and 15,000 will be accounted for FOH perspective, isn't it? Getting this point? That is, it said that
Yes.
it say that in transfer out units, material, labor, and FOH is 100% applied. That is, we are breaking this 15,000 in terms of material, in terms of labor, and in terms of FOH, and they are 100% applied. Therefore, we have written here 15,000, 15,000, 15,000. Now, what about WIP? WIP ending units are 5,000 units. But in these 5,000 units, materials are applied 100%. So we will write 100% of material of WIP, that is 5,000 units. But labor and FOH are applied 50%. Means the 50% of 5,000 would be 2,500. So they will be applied here 2,500 and 2,500. Then we will make the total of it. The total will be 20,000, 17,500 and 17,500. This is known as EPU, equivalent production units. What this denotes? It denotes that in all 20,000 units, material has been fully applied. Whether it is transfer out or whether it is WIP ending, the material is fully applied on all units that we have started in the beginning of the process. But labor and FOH are not fully applied on WIP. That's why this total is not that equal to 20,000. Got the point? Got the trick? Any issue? Hello? Any problem? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, now I can.
Now you can. So what I had done here, you didn't hear this that all, or is it okay?
No, I understood. It was just lagging a bit in the end.
Okay. Okay. Now what we had done here, we had done WIP in terms of material, labor, and FOH. Material is applied 100% on the WIP. That's why we have written 5,000. But labor and FOH are applied 50%. So we have written the 50% of 5,000 units. Now we total it. That is represents the EPU. Now what that means? It means that the units which we have started as a 20,000 units, in all these 20,000 units, material has been applied fully. Whether they are on the transfer out units or whether the material is applied on WIP, but material is applied fully on 20,000. But as far as labor and FOH is concerned, labor and FOH are applied fully on transferred out units, but they are still remaining to be applied on WIP units. Therefore, they are not completed and therefore their total is not taken. So basically, these 20,000 units are divided in terms of material, bifurcated, rather, we can say that. These 20,000 units are bifurcated in terms of material, labor, and FOH according to the percentage of completion of the units. And this is what known as EPU, equivalent production unit. Clear?
Yes.
Now, why we need to calculate the EPU? EPU is calculated for calculating per unit cost, and remember we discussed that cost of production report is prepared in the process costing, where it is cost of production report. It is helpful in the preparing of cost of production report that we will prepare today. So let's suppose they are assumed figures. We have given the cost of material, labor, and FOH that have been applied in the process. So material cost was $100,000. Labor cost was let's suppose 350,000, and FOH cost was suppose $175,000. Okay. Now can we calculate per unit cost on the basis of EPU? What would it be? Can you calculate it?
Okay, so 100,000 into 20,000.
Sorry, 100,000 divided by 20,000. Answer
5.
$5. And labor dollar
20.
$10. Total per unit cost would be $35. Check the calculations. Are these correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now we are in the position of preparing the cost of production report. How it would be prepared? It would start with the heading. That is, let's suppose it is department 1. So we will put the heading of department 1, cost of production report. And the month for which we are making it, for the month ended month of whatever it is for the month dash. Then the first step is to reproduce that quantity schedule which we had made earlier. So I am not reproducing it, just I am putting the heading so that you can understand that the first step in the cost of production report is quantity schedule. Done. Next step is the cost charged to department. Whether it is total cost or whether it is per unit cost. Cost charged to department. It will take in the form of, obviously cost will be charged in the form of material, labor, and FOH. So we will write total cost in one column and unit cost in other column. Here we will write materials, labors cost, and FOH cost. It would be given. This is the cost. So we will write it in the columnar form. Material cost is 100,000, 350,000, and 175,000. Unit cost would be 5, 20, and 10. Total is 35, and this cost would be total of 625,000. Okay, this is the second step. Now, third step is very important. In third step, what we do, we calculate actually the cost of the actually completed units and transferred and the cost of WIP ending. What is the cost of this 15,000 units and what is the cost of the remaining 5,000 units? But actually, this 15,000 cost and 5,000 cost would become eventually the total cost, and it will be verified by our this total cost. How it is broken down, how it is bifurcated into two, let's see. Number three, cost accounted for as follows. First, we will calculate units completed and transferred out. So how many units were completed and transferred in our example?
15,000.
15,000. Multiply by, since material is fully applied on it, labor is fully applied on it, and FOH is fully applied on it. Means in this 15,000 units, the total per unit cost would be applied $35. So we will multiply 15,000 with 35. So what would be the amount? 15,000 into 35 would be $525,000.
Yes.
Now we will calculate the value or cost of the WIP ending. So WIP ending. How much units of, this is very important. How much units of WIP ending we have? 5,000. But with respect to material, they are 5,000. But with respect to labor and FOH, they are 2,500. So we will calculate their individual cost. Means 5,000 multiplied by its per unit cost, 2,500 multiplied by its per unit cost, and again 2,500 multiplied by its per unit cost. We cannot calculate like transfer out, that is 5,000 into 35. It would be wrong because 35 is the total cost of all the units completed. There is the percentage of completion given, so we cannot allocate the total cost. We have to prorate it. Got it?
Yes.
Okay. Material, WIP ending units are 5,000 total. But with respect to material, they are 5,000 multiplied by 5. With respect to labor, 5,000, sorry, 2,500 multiply by 20. And with respect to FOH, again 2,500 multiply by 10. So this will form the total WIP ending cost. Now, if you want to calculate all of them directly, so let me know the total amount or individually as you can. I am concerned with the total amount of WIP ending.
Okay, so it's 25,000, 50,000, and then 25,000.
Total it makes
100,000.
100,000. That would be dollar 100,000. Now we have two things: the transfer out and the WIP ending. We have got the cost of the transfer out and the WIP ending. This total cost is equals to 525 plus 100,000. It would be equals to
625,000.
625,000. And now see the cost that was applied, that was initially applied in the department was 625,000, and it is accounted for 625,000 in a way that it is broken down into two parts. One part was transfer out and other part was WIP ending. The transfer out cost was 525,000 and still the units which are being processed, their cost is 100,000. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. These WIP, let me connect this concept with the financial accounting concept. This is WIP ending. Let's suppose I am selling this for the month of Jan. So this WIP ending cost 100,000 or units 5,000 will become the WIP opening for the month of Feb. Getting this point? Agree?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we see it in perspective of T account, so this would become CD because these are ending value and it will be carried down and brought down in the next month. That would be considered as brought down. Recalling that
Yes.
done? Agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Just to connect these things, this will be beneficial for our next topic. Okay. Now let's make the entries that we learned initially in the cost accounting system. Anything which is coming into the department, so it is debited. WIP will be debited. So WIP department one cost will be debited with the 625,000. And how it is debited or how what it contains, 625,000 contains the cost of material, the cost of labor and the cost of FOH. So when WIP or department is debited, then these costs will be credited, that is material, labor and FOH. Simple basic examples, basic concepts divided. These all three makes the 625,000, that is 100,000, 350,000 and 175,000. Clear? Now let's suppose the goods or things or units are transferring from department 1 to finished goods. Then finished goods department will be debited because things are coming. And this WIP department 1 will be credited because it will be transferred to the finished goods. But what would be the amount? Can you tell me?
15,000.
15,000. Why?
Finished goods.
Yes, finished goods. Finished goods is the total cost of finished goods is 525,000. We have transferred total units that are completed. Means completed means they are finished. Finished matlab finished means that sense nahi, not ke they are destroyed. That is not finished. Finished goods means the ready product. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the cost of that finished good, the completed products is 525,000. And still that are in progress, the cost of that units is 100,000. So in finished goods department, we have transferred only 525,000. Then this would be the
Yes.
sequence of the entries. Now next thing. T account, just like we made in the financial accounting, in cost accounting, there is also a T account known as process account. So we will prepare process account. And the concept is same, just like financial accounting. Account means T account. This is a T account. The additional things would be that here we are dealing with the units and their cost. So we will make two columns. Like this. Okay. Now this area represents the left hand side debit, and this area represents right hand side, that is credit. So here will be uh, units and dollar amount. Again here will be units and dollar amount. What we have started in the department, that is WIP 625,000. In WIP, this consists of material, labor, and effort. So we can write it either separately or either collectively. So units started were basically 20,000 units. Then, and they were in the form of material. And material cost was given as 100,000. Labor was also applied in the process. Labor cost was given as 350,000. Then, and factory overhead was also applied. It was given the cost of 175,000. So the total input into the process was obviously 20,000 units, and their cost was 625,000. Now what happened? We make some of the goods, finished goods, and transfer to the finished goods department. Means our process account is credited. This process account will be credited with the finished goods department, or we may call it as the output. Now, how many number of units were transferred to the finished goods? They were 15,000. And what were their cost? We calculated the cost of 525,000 for the finished goods. So we will write cost of 525,000. Now, as you know, the rule of debit and credit T account or the trial balance is that the left hand side and the right hand side should be equal. So this side and this side should be equal. That is, here should be 20,000 units and the cost should be 625,000 units. Now see what is the remaining in this process account. We saw that 5,000 units are still remaining in the process, that is WIP ending. Done. And their cost which we calculated was 100,000. So the cost of that WIP is 100,000. Now this column and this column makes to 20,000 and 625,000, and this is 625,000. They are tally, and the number of units are also tally. WIP ending represents balance carried down. This is extra what I am saying. Let's suppose this is the month of Jan. Obviously, process will not stop. Process will continue. If the process will continue in the month of Feb, this balance carried down will be treated as the balance brought down. That is, it will be treated as opening WIP for the Feb. That is 5,000 and 10,000, 100,000. And again, In the month of Feb, again, material will be applied, labor will be applied, FOH will be applied, finished goods will be transferred, and this process will continue until the factory stops that process. Clear? Any issues?
Yes.
Done?
No.
Any question? No question?
Uh, um, where
Yes.
you're debiting for Jan, why didn't you write materials, labor, and FOH under one big heading? Like just to start off,
We
like
can write it, but better
example.
to present the cost separately. That's why we can write it. No issues.
Oh, okay.
Done?
Yes.
Okay. As usual, it's question time. I am writing the question. You will solve it and then show it to me. Have you started that chapter of cost volume profit of the cost management accounting?
No, not yet.
Okay. You may start process costing chapter as well, so that you know the basics of that. Okay, question. Units started. $50,000 units completed and transferred. 42,000 units still in process. Obviously, it would be 8,000. This would be our cost quantity share. Now the cost incurred were material, labor, material dollar 245,000. It's understood it's in dollar. Okay, 82,000, 134, 400. Now what you have to do? You have to do nothing. You have to do all this cost of production report. But see, to calculate the cost of production report unit cost, we have to calculate equivalent production units. Let me tell you the percentage of completion of units still in process. 100% labor or material, 50% labor, and 40% SH. Okay. Now, just remember one thing, that this total cost charge and this total cost accounted for must be tallied. But if the unit costs are in decimal points, so we can round it off. It's not hard and fast rule that that should be tallied by each and every penny. If there is in decimal, obviously this cost will be disturbed a little bit, but it would be nearer to it. The bigger the difference, it would be might be the wrong answer. Okay. Done. Hello.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You make the cost of production report fully with the T account and entries, then make PDF and show it to me. By the way, if this cost and this cost get tallied, means your answer is correct. Not, no need to show it. But however, this is the first question. You should show it to me. Okay.
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 Yeah.
For today, I am signing off and sending you today's lecture PDF and yesterday's lecture. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. We will
Yeah.
continue financial accounting from Monday. Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.